Reach out my hand, oh me say, oh me tell you to run all the way, all the way. And moving to see, moving to young. Well, pick me up with golden hand, oh me say, oh me tell you to run all the way, all the way. And moving to see, moving to young. Well, I would like to hold my little hand. How we will cry with, how we will cry with. I would like to hold my little hand. How we will cry with, how we will cry. Send me in my way, send me in my way, send me in my way, send me on my way, send me in my way, send me in my way. Send me on my way. I would like to reach out my hand, oh, me tell you to run. Nobody say, nobody young. Well, pick me up with golden hair. They say, they tell you to run. Nobody say, nobody young. Well, I would like to hold my little hand. I will proud with, I will proud with. I would like to hold my little hand. I will proud with, I will proud. Send me in my way, 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 send me in my way. Reach out my hand, oh me say, oh me tell you to run. Oh me say, me say.
I don't want to die, fade away. I just wanna be someone. I just wanna be someone. Dive and disappear without a trace. I just wanna be someone. Well, doesn't everyone? And if you feel the great dividing, I wanna be somebody to someone. Oh, I wanna be somebody to someone. Oh, I never had nobody and no road home. I wanna be somebody to someone. And if the sun starts setting, the sky goes cold, and if the clouds get heavy and start to fall, I really need somebody to call my own. I wanna be somebody to someone. Someone to you. Someone to you. Someone to you. Someone to you. I don't even need to change the world. I'll make the moon shine just for your view. I'll make the starlight circle the room. And if you feel like night is falling, I wanna be the one you're calling. 'Cause I believe that you can lead the way. I just wanna be somebody to someone. Oh, I wanna be somebody to someone. Oh, I never had nobody and no road home. I wanna be somebody to someone. And if the sun starts setting, the sky goes cold, and if the clouds get heavy and start to fall, I really need somebody to call my own. I wanna be somebody to someone. Someone to you. Someone to you. Someone to you. Someone to you. Keep the clouds, the rise, the fall, setting and trying to find it all. I just want to be somebody to you. I just want to be somebody to someone. I want to be somebody to someone. I want to nobody to know. I want to be somebody to someone. And if the sun starts setting, the sky goes cold, and if the clouds get heavy, it's hard to fall. I really need somebody to call my own. I want to be somebody to someone. Someone to you. Someone to you. Someone to you. Someone to you. Someone to you.
Well, good evening and welcome to Shenley Brook End's transition evening. Now, I want to thank again those people who spent today with us. and I hope you found that really enjoyable and worthwhile time, really, to sort of hear from lots of different people at Shenley. So this evening, we've got an exciting time. We're going to again hear from some really important people in your child's journey through Shenley Brook End. But then the bit that everyone's sort of looking forward to, I like to think, is the time with your form tutor. So you get to meet them, hear what they've got to say, get to know them a little bit and get you ready for that transition start in September. Now, I'm going to first straight away hand over to Mr. Holmwood, our head teacher, who's prepared this earlier on for you now.
Well, welcome to Shenley Brook End School online for this year's Year 6 into 7 transition evening. And I'm Mr. Holmwood, I'm the head teacher here, and we're very excited to be welcoming our Year 6 students into Year 7. We've loved having them with us today. Of course, it's not been as we would have hoped, but we really feel over recent weeks and in coming weeks, we're building that great relationship that we're all looking forward to developing further as they start in September. Now, as part of that, students have been in touch with school today online, meeting key people, learning important things, and I hope that they've enjoyed that and that's gone well. We're really hoping they've talked to you about their experiences and that this experience that you have in common with them is also a really important part of learning about Shenley Brook End School. Now, over recent weeks, a number of staff have been into a large number of the primary schools that send large groups of students to Shenley, and we've loved it. We've loved spending time with Year 6, looking at their school environments, talking to their teachers, but also it's been great to see how excited they are about the opportunity to come to Shenley, to learn new things, to make new friends. And a big part of what we've been doing when we've been talking with them is just making sure we give them lots of time to ask the many questions that they have. So we've talked to them about the school day, we've talked to them about lessons, we talked to them about any worries they might have about friendship groups or bullying and how we look after students in that regard. We've talked about extracurricular provision and all of the things that are on offer, and we've answered all kinds of questions. And if those questions continue, save them up, because there'll be other opportunities to answer those if they're not answered by what you hear this evening. Now, Shenley Brook End School is part of what's known as the 5 Dimensions Trust, which basically means that we're in a joint trust with Hazley Academy, which is about a mile away. And we do all kinds of work together to benefit our staff and our parents, and really the local community of this area. And the mission of the 5 Dimensions Trust is to grow a vibrant community of exceptional people. And we really are a vibrant community, and I'm really proud to be part of it. Now, in Shenley, the way that we express that is through a little phrase that we kind of summarise as BBB. And it might be that your child's heard me talk about this before, or they've picked up on it today. And I'm going to wait for a moment because it might be they can actually tell you what that means, BBB. So I'm just going to stop for a moment. So BBB is short for belong, believe, become. And I think that's the simplest way for me to introduce you to the culture and the values of Shenley. So we want our young people to belong. I'm forever saying to students, it's not my school, I'm just the head. It's your school, and you have the responsibility to make it a great, happy and successful place. So we want them to belong. The second thing is we want them to believe in themselves, and we want them to know that we believe in them, so they can grow that self-esteem and that motivation and that confidence that's so important to develop as young people grow into adulthood. And finally, we want them to know that we are passionate about who they become. Qualifications are really important, and of course exams are a significant part of a secondary school education, but they're not the be-all and the end-all. And we honestly believe that a student's qualities are as important as their qualifications, and we really want to help them to develop in all kinds of ways to make sure that they are great young people as they get to the end of their journey with us, ready for the responsibilities and the opportunities of adult life. So I hope you've enjoyed that brief introduction to Shenley Brook End School. I really look forward to meeting you in person when permitted, and certainly getting to know your children, our students, over the coming years. Thanks ever so much for listening.
Hello, good evening. I'm really pleased to introduce myself to you. Now, some of you may have seen my face before or come across me, particularly if you're a parent that's already had a child at the school. But for some of you, I realise it's the first time you've ever seen me here, so I better introduce myself properly. Now, I'm Mr. Stevens and I'm the progress leader for Year 7. Now, I'd like to talk briefly about what that means and how that's going to pan out from this point on, okay? Now, many of your children will have already have met me because I was also on those visits alongside Mr. Nash, Mrs. Underwood and Mr. Homewood over the last 3 weeks, and they were delightful, but I know not everyone has. So very briefly, let me just sum up a little bit about what I do. Well, most of the time, well, not most, about half the time, I am a regular teacher in the classroom. So that is my job. But the other significant responsibility I have is to take an oversight and to look over the progress that Year 7 students make. And progress in the truest sense, progress in a holistic and personal sense, the personal journey that Mr. Homewood alluded to there, the way in which they're going to develop those qualities as people ready for the big wide world that begins, well, that journey's already begun because you're here now, but will end up at the end of Year 11 and maybe even at the end of Year 13. Now, we take that responsibility extremely seriously. We know, and I know, that you are about to entrust the most precious cargo to us to look after, okay? We don't take that lightly, and we're very pleased and proud to take on that responsibility. And just to reassure you, if you've got the jitters, both students and parents or carers tonight, you're going to be in safe hands. Don't worry, we'll do our best. OK, you can also, of course, make progress in other ways. Progress is about the academic development. It's about progression in terms of skills, knowledge, understanding, so that ultimately, when qualifications come into focus at the end of the journey, whether that's Year 10, 11 or 12 or 13, that your child is fully prepared for them. And I take an oversight in that as well. Now, practically, that might mean making some interventions, maybe sometimes working with an individual teacher, getting involved when a homework maybe hasn't quite been understood. If maybe the student or the teacher or yourself have not been quite able to resolve that and get clarity. So I can make interventions on that line. Sometimes they're a lot more personal. Often I find that my time is used sitting down with the student for an elongated chat about how they're getting on, not only with their work, but their, friendship groups and just their general, well-being in school. And 5 or 10 minutes quality time with them can be hugely beneficial. And I'll be making that journey, following them through the years. And so I'll get to know them really well. OK, and that's true of their tutors as well, who you're going to meet a little bit later on. Now, there's someone that works alongside me as part of this package of support that we offer, OK? Now, as progress leader, then I not only teach but have an oversight, but I can't be there every minute of the day. Now, at this point, I'm going to start to introduce my colleague here, Mrs. Underwood, who does have slightly more time. Now, she's not a teaching member of staff, but she has significant responsibility for your child's year group. That's why she's the year leader for Year 7. The chances are, simply because of time, if not anything else, that inquiries into the school and concerns that you or your children might have, if the tutor or teacher couldn't deal with it, Mrs. Underwood may well get to those first. OK, in either case, we can reassure you that we do happily take calls, emails from you. And the normal turnaround time, we would try and get back to you the same school day. It isn't always possible. And I think it's fair for you and for us to both understand that maybe a 24-hour period to get back to you, even if it's just to hold and say, well, thank you for that, we're looking at it. That's probably a reasonable expectation. But again, I think we'll get used to that relationship as we go on, because I know it does vary a lot from primary schools that can often have an almost next minute service. You phone up and then someone's on the phone back to you. Obviously, there's over 1,800 of us here, so it's not always possible to do that, but we will try. And I promise we're never ignoring you. OK, so that sums up my role a little bit and how I'd like to help. And I'm really looking forward to working with you as parents and carers and your children. It's an amazing time. Like I say, I'm incredibly proud. I'm pleased that you've made that choice, and I'm incredibly proud to be standing here as part of the school. And I passionately believe in what Shenley offers. And hopefully over the next 5 years, we can make you believe in that as well. Now, here's Mrs. Underwood. She is going to talk a little bit about what she does. And so I'll hand over to her. OK.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Well, like you said, I am the year leader for Year 7, and I will be working closely with both yourselves and the students to just make sure that everyone's okay, that they are working well, that they are happy here. I am quite new to Shenley as well. This is my 3rd week here, so we will be finding our Shenley way together. But I am really, really looking forward to working with everyone. I'm excited. It's going to be great fun. I know transition can be quite a scary thing. I went through it with my children a couple of years ago, and I think I might have probably been worse than what they were, to be fair. They actually coped with it a lot better than what I did. So it is hard for us parents, and I understand that. but I am just on the end of an email or the end of the phone. Please feel free to get in touch with me, and we can work together and build those relationships. And like I say, we just want the best for them. So that's me, and I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Nash now.
Thank you. So hopefully you've enjoyed hearing from those really key, crucial people. And to build on this, going ahead this evening, you're going to get to spend some time with that last missing link, that form tutor. But before we go off to our next event, I just want to talk about the next stage in our transition. And on the week beginning Monday, the 5th of July, we'll have some information coming home about this as well. Every evening, 3 till 5, we're going to run an event from the Leadership and Training Centre. So as you look at the front of our school, on the left-hand side, you'll see an entrance to the LTC. And you'll be invited to one of those evenings, 3 till 5, to come in and collect the gifts from us to help support within transition. First off, our English department have bought every Year 7 child the book Wonder. And they'll be able to take that away along with a bookmark reminding them of what Badgers is all about. And they'll be able to tell you that if they listen carefully today. So ask them about what Badgers means. And they'll also have their All About Me summer workbook to complete over that summertime. Not designed to be too strenuous or too many problems with it. It's an idea to share what they know about themselves, what they want us to know. And then they can bring that to their form groups in September and share it with their tutors and their peers. And there's also in there a little student handbook to help remind them about the things that they need to remember on a daily basis and how the school operates. But we also find it quite helpful to send out a parent handbook as well with similar information. So that's coming on next week, starting on Monday the 5th of July and running every evening. And you'll be told what evening you can come in, and we'll book a time to drop in and collect all those things. So how is the next bit of this evening going to work? So the next bit is this evening, you're going to need the email, the parent mail that had that information on it. And on there, the first bit of information you're going to need is who your child's form tutor is. So I've just taken a screenshot from that letter that went home there. As an example, your child might be in 7 BCD, Miss C Davis as her tutor, and you're in Birch. So you need that information noted down for when you go into the next part. You're also going to need your child's login and making sure that you've got that from that parent email. Now, we have asked obviously before now to have logged into office.com and check that is all working. But if for any reason that isn't working and you go to do it now, we are sitting here, myself and JJ, my technical support, are here helping and on the Year 6 IT help at sbeschool.org.uk that you can drop us an email and we can respond as soon as we can to try and get you into those meetings. So once you've got those 2 bits of information jotted down, what you'll do next, referring to that same parent email, we're going to use that 3rd link. Okay, and this is the Meet the Form Tutor evening event, 6:30. We're aiming to start on that one. And once you click on that link, it will take you to Microsoft Teams and open a team that every child in Year 6 has been added to. And those teams will appear and you'll be able to log in and see all the different channels within. It might be that if you haven't had a chance to already log into Microsoft, that this window might pop up and you might have to sign in there using those details. When you do sign in, make sure you use that password and the username that's clearly printed on that parent mail, and make sure you click the sign in button. It won't do it automatically. You can also click the stay signed in button on the yes, that's fine. Keep yourself signed in, make it easier just in case you do drop out for any reason, you'll be able to get in a little bit quicker. And then this is what you should be presented with. Depending on the device you're using to access it, it may look a little bit different on an iPad or an Android device, but this is what it looks like on a desktop computer. As you go in, you can see there along that side of the team where it says on the left-hand side, all the different form tutors. So you can see my example earlier on. I said Miss C Davis was the form tutor from the example, and you can see there's that little blue camera icon which shows there was a meeting going on that channel. So at this point, I hope all the form tutors are busily starting their meetings, getting ready to welcome all the different people coming to that. And so you'll be able to see that there's a meeting going on, and all you will do is once you've clicked on your child's form tutor is click on the join button, and you'll be welcomed into there. Once you get into that meeting, you'll find that there's some different functions you can use. Again, it may look different depending on what device you're accessing, but as I say, on a Windows device, on a computer desktop, this is the sort of things we're going to have. There is a chat function, whereas if you can't use your microphone or your camera for any reason, you can type your question or comments into a chat, which is being monitored by the form tutor and another member of staff that's with them to help support it. You'll also have a hand up icon. So if something you hear from the form tutor, you think, oh, I want to ask a question now, you can click the hand up and you get a little virtual hand up over your icon, and it explains to the tutor and the other person that somebody wishes to ask a question. Now, and also the last two things I want to make clear to us is you've got on there the camera and the microphone buttons. At the moment on my example, you can see a line through each of those, which signifies that they're turned off. Now, you will be asked if it's possible and if you've got that technology available to you at home so that your tutor gets to meet their students that are joining them, to put that camera on, put that microphone on, and just say a little hello to their tutor as they go in. So those two buttons are going to be important. Now, as I say, this is I'm going to leave this on screen, but this is the email address. So if you have any problems now, when you leave this in a moment and go and join, you can come back in, email us, and myself and JJ are here to try and help you get into those teams. Now, it is 6:15, and we have asked tutors to start their meetings between 15:15 and 20:00. So you may go in there and might find that that blue camera icon is not quite ready and they're just getting it set up. But as long as you are in that team, and that gives us a little bit of time to make sure everyone is settled in and everyone knows what they're doing, you can go to that team and just wait for that camera icon so that you can join your form tutor's session. Now, if you accidentally go into the wrong one, there's going to be a register being taken. So, you'll be able to say, oh, I'm in the wrong one, drop out and join another one. You have access to all 10 of those different channels that are in Teams. So there's no need to worry that you've not been granted access to one that you need. You can get to all of them. Now, if anything does potentially go wrong technology-wise and you can't get access to that, we will hope to have those recordings available as well. So if you need to come back later on and watch them, or if you just enjoyed it that much and you want to watch it twice, it's there for you to watch at another time as well. Just like other events that we've done today and this evening, we'll hope to get those published out to you. So at this point in the time, I'm going to say thank you so much again for all those people who've really engaged with today. We've had some really fantastic questions coming from the students, and we hope we've been able to answer and help put your child's mind at rest with coming up to secondary school. And so the next part of this evening, I hope you have a fabulous time. And if you have any questions about the support you need, there is the email address. Right, third click, third link. Good luck. Thank you.